Thanks for joining me today. Today I want to talk about the makeup of our future leaders. You see, with the way the world is going today, with the energy crisis, with fossil fuels, or if we're going to use wind, or whatever the case is, and then there's always the unrest in the Middle East going on, and a plethora of other situations that our current leaders and our future leaders are going to have to deal with. And a lot of this is due in part because of selfishness and corruption that past and present leadership has put themselves in or has created, whether it's local, federal, or nationwide. So the future leaders that are coming up, they're going to have to be equipped and able to handle a plethora of these challenges that we face in order to help mankind survive. So, in essence, I want to talk about, and don't get me wrong, there are a lot of tools in a leadership's tool bag, if you will, that they're going to need in order to be successful currently and in the future. But I have 5 of what I think some of the most important tools in a leadership toolbox that a future leader will need in order for him or her to be successful in their endeavors. The first tool, one of the most important tools, I think, is to know thyself. That's an ongoing event because it requires a lot of self-reflection. Knowing thyself means understanding who you are, what you represent, what are your morals, your values. What do you bring to the table? Who are you? See, when you start to understand who you are, what you believe in, what your limitations are, what you can and cannot do, what your values are, you have an air of confidence because you know who you are. And confidence brings followers to leaders. People love to follow leaders who know who they are, who know what they can do, who know their limitations, and know what to do about their limitations. People love that. Understand who you are. Understand what you will and will not tolerate. These are some of the things we think we know, but sometimes we have to really sit down and do self-reflection and really figure out and get to the core of our being to find out who we really are. Once we get that, then we work on effectively bringing that out to the masses so that we can accumulate followers and move forward on your agenda or your goal or your plan for whatever it is that you're trying to do. Know thyself. That's so important. Understand who you are. The second one is be a great communicator. I cannot stress this enough. You have to be able to clearly articulate your goal or your vision or your plan to other people, to whereas they understand it the way you intended them to. Being great communicators puts you in a separate class as far as leadership because you're able to reach out and touch the masses in a positive way, hopefully, and in an effective manner because you've learned how to communicate to other people properly. So that's the next tool, is be a great communicator. Understand that's an art. You have to learn how to communicate so that you can effectively bring across what it is that you're trying to say or what it is that you're trying to get other people to buy into. The next thing is understand paradigms and paradigm shifts. See, this is where a lot of leaders fall short because they allow their ego to get in the way. See, they start out with this vision and plan, and because they have a great background in this area and they get started, well, life happens. Things change. Certain things just fall into place that sometimes we prepared for, but a lot of times we didn't. And sometimes that will require us to revisit the plan or the goal. But see, again, this is where leaders fall short because the ego comes into play. No, we're not changing the plan. My plan's perfect. It's going to happen. We can make it happen. They allow ego to come in instead of wisdom. And understanding paradigm shifts, really, I'm saying leaders need to take time to sit back and reflect on what they're doing, where they are, and where they're trying to go. Is the plan still aligned? Can it still work? Or does it need some modification now? Look at what you did, what's going on, anything that's happened in between that could potentially cause you to make an adjustment in the vision or the goal or the plan. It's okay to change the plan. Remember, we always have to start with the end result in mind. So Maybe the plan was correct at first, but due to certain situations or circumstances, seen or unforeseen, we need to make some adjustments. Because we still want to get to the end result. That's the bottom line. It's not about your ego or being right or wrong. It's about having the right plan, understanding the paradigm, and learning how to adjust if you need to. So understanding paradigms and paradigm shifts, very important for a leader. The next thing is become a cosmopolitan leader. I know what you're saying. What is a cosmopolitan leader? Listen, being a cosmopolitan leader means basically putting yourself or allowing yourself to understand or immerse yourself into other cultures and backgrounds and beliefs. See, this gives you a leg up on other leaders because here you get an opportunity to understand how different people think, how they govern, how they socialize, how they plan, how they organize, what their values are and beliefs are. So when you come back and you're ready to make your pitch for your vision or your plan or goal or whatever, you take into consideration what their values are and how they think so that you're better prepared on relaying your message to them so that A, they understand what you're saying, and B, that they accept the plan and want to buy into it. So being a cosmopolitan leader is very crucial because look, the world is no longer round, it's flat. And it's flat because of technology. Listen, at the touch of a button, I can reach out to somebody in China and strike up a deal with them and start giving consulting services to them. At the strike of a button, I can reach somebody in Australia, in Germany, in France, in Canada, in Hawaii. Technology has made the world flat now, so everything and everybody is easily accessible. So at the touch of a button, you have the world in your grasp. So if you have that much power and ability, the smart thing to do is to understand these different people and their cultures and their thinking and their ways so that you can prepare a plan or prepare a pitch that will be able to reach them effectively and so that they can understand what you're trying to do or want to do clearly. Gives you a leg up on the competition. Become a cosmopolitan leader. That's going to be a big tool in the toolbox for future leaders. Last but not least, be a great listener. I cannot tell you how important this is. If you ever looked at some of the greatest leaders, they were all great communicators. They knew how to touch each and every crowd that they spoke to or person that they reached out to. This is one of the hardest things to obtain and also the hardest thing to master. But oh boy, when you master becoming a great listener, it boosts you up into the upper echelon of leadership. Why? Why is that? Because people are noticing that you truly are listening to what they're saying and how they're feeling and what they want. Now, if you become a great listener and you're able to listen effectively, take that information and find a great solution for these people, oh, well, now you've just gone up a couple notches higher. See, being a great listener is very effective. See, a lot of times people listen to respond as opposed to listening to understand. See, we have to listen to understand. See, if I'm talking to you and you're forming an opinion in your head because you really want to get your point across to me, so then you start talking and I'm forming an opinion because I really want to get my point to you, who's listening? Nobody. If you take listening out of the conversation, that's 40 to 45% of the conversation gone. So everybody's talking and nobody's listening. But if you play the conversation back and really listen, I guarantee you, you're pretty much saying the same thing at certain parts. But you don't see it at the time. Become a great listener. This will put you head and shoulders above all other leaders because you took the time to hone a gift or to hone a craft or a trait that can take you to higher levels. So that's it in a nutshell. The makeup of our future leaders. I'll recap. Know thyself. Become a great communicator. Understand paradigms and paradigm shifts. Be a cosmopolitan leader. And last but not least, be a great listener. These are my 5. Now, I know that that's not all there is in the toolbox. There are plenty more. But these are 5 of some of the most important ones, I think, that will help our current and future leaders be successful in their future endeavors. Okay. Thank you for joining me again. That's my time. As always, I like to bring you nuggets of information that will help you and help transform you into the leader from what you are to what you want to be, which is an exceptional, productive, awesome leader that people want to follow and not the kind of leader that people have to follow. Big difference. My goal and mission is to transform leaders and take them to higher levels where they can be effective and be ethical and be moral and help change our communities, our cities, our neighborhoods, our states, and our country. That's my job. Certified difference maker. I want to make a difference in every leader that's watching this podcast. So thank you so much for joining me again. I'm going to get off my soapbox now. If you want to see more podcasts like this or listen to more audio clips, please go to my website, www.chadbumgarner.co. And I'd also like to get your feedback too. Twitter. My Twitter handle is @Chad_Bumgarner. And there's Periscope. I just did a scope today about this very same topic. So go out to Periscope if you don't have it, download it, and then look for @CDBumgarner. That's my Periscope name. And just start following me. And I try to get on there every Wednesday and do a different topic or subject and get some feedback or dialogue so we can have a great, intelligent conversation and help sharpen each other. You know, iron sharpens iron. So let's do that. Let's sharpen each other and make each other brighter and better as leaders. All right. Thanks again. Enjoy your day. And remember, great leadership equals great results. How are you leading?